Welcome back, my friends, to TFT Hyperroll with Autarch, and this week there is a link up there to the video I put out at the end of last week all about Hyperroll. If you haven't seen it, I'm sure most of you have, but if you happen to haven't seen it, please click on it, check it out even before watching this video, because I need some help over there. But let's get into this video, and we're gonna do sort of a standard comp that then requires a boost at the end for it to really work out, with probably one of the most boring augments that exist. Augment payout. You get money every time you choose an augment. And we will jump straight to the first set of augments because this build has not revealed itself well at all. So we're rolling through them, and we're just going to take Silver Veil simply because it's not a bad augment no matter what you do. Now we've got to roll and try to find something, and I simply can't resist an 8-bit Corky. I'm going to be wanting a spatula, but I can't resist going for it because the fun of the payout is just too much. Now, of course, at some point you may be forced to abandon the concept of getting to the 6-8-bit, but we're gonna try. Now, normally an intelligent person would slam that Rageblade right onto Corky, but I'm not an intelligent person because I want to see if I can get a spatula, because I'm gonna need that bow if I get a spatula. So I'll take a slightly weakened Corky in the hopes that maybe I can get a payout later on. With each item choice that comes up, I'm hoping to see that little golden spatula on the end, but that ain't it. However, now Corky can get the Rageblade that he needs to attack at a reasonable speed. Now, normally I would have liked to have had a Garen in the front line by this point, but we're stuck with a 1-star Lilia as one of our Sentinels, which is not going to hold things up that much. You want to have the Garen because he's going to be a little bit stronger and keep things like this from happening. Another round of NPCs and goose egg on our spatula. So we're still just going forward with hopes and dreams, looking through the next set of augments. We're going to go rolling for days because we'd really like to get to a 3-star Corky, and we have a pretty good shot at least this level of rolling 1 costs. Unfortunately, lots of rolling led to exactly 0 Corkies. So we are no closer to our 3-star Corky, we have not gotten a spatula, and right now we are just wondering if this is going to work at all. We finally found some Corkies in between rounds, and we are now 1 Corky away from a gold. We're still holding on to that bow, just in case we happen to get a spatula and can make an emblem. But at this point, even with it, it's going to be difficult because we haven't tallied enough damage yet. We have an item choice to make, and at this point, we're going to just increase damage on Corky by grabbing the sparring glove and then making an infinity edge. And we finally find our gold 3-star Corky, so we should start putting out some decent damage. The problem is we're going to need some improvement on this team because our front line is still pretty weak. We've got a lot of 1-star champions trying to hold things back, and even though Corky is now putting out more damage, if they eat through the front line, it's not going to matter too much. We're up to our final augment and close to our final hope for a spatula. The healing orbs are the best on this screen and likely useful again because our front line isn't that strong at this point. Having more power in the back line is going to help. We did manage though to 2-star the Echo and the Garen and the Riven and now the Mordekaiser, so we're at least getting some strength in front. We very quickly found a 2-star Blitz, although not fast enough to put him in for this particular round. But our front line is strong enough now to hold this back, along with the power coming out of the back line. Adding in Ezreal for that little bit of extra damage helps us survive to fight another day. And this is our last chance at a spatula, so it is not to be. However, what we can do is put together some pretty excellent Ezreal items, which will be blue buff and red buff And normally you would want to get an Infinity Edge to go with it so the ability can crit. However, we're working with what we have, and we can put a Hextech Gunblade on him, so we will get some healing out of the backline, which should help out the front line. One nice thing with Ezreal is that he's got a little bit of natural Akali protection, so when Akali gets on him, he ultimately will blink away and she will lose aggro and thus lose interest, which allows Ezreal to keep attacking and us to ultimately win this fight. In moments like now, I wish I had a magnetic remover because it now shows me the Infinity Edge that I would rather have on Ezreal than the Hextech Gunblade. But we can get a Last Whisperer for Corky and then also start picking up Caitlyn, because I would rather have Caitlyn in the back line than Riven in the front line. So this way we can now easily go to the 6 Sentinels and then have the 4 8-bit and most of the power coming from the back line. And once we get through this match, we'll be able to add in our 6th Sentinel, which will give us a pretty strong front line, especially with the 2-star Blitz in front. And we're about to pick up a second 2-star Blitz to hang out on the bench, just in case we get really stupid lucky towards the end of the match. So I want to talk about a couple of things here. Number one, the item I'm going to take, since I have now a second 2-star Blitz and another on the bench, I decide to just go all in on Blitz. And yes, I am ignoring the 2-star Jhin it tried to give me. I don't find him to be that effective a champion. If I was going Big Shot Sentinel, then I probably would have brought him in, but this is 8-bit Sentinel, and it just doesn't work out as well. The backline is really strong with Caitlyn, Ezreal, and Corky, so Jhin becomes a thing that just doesn't end up fitting. Speaking of which, we do want to get a little bit more power in the backline, so we can go ahead and put a Giant Slayer on Caitlyn. I find when you're running the 4 8-bit, you definitely want to lean into the damage because they are getting a pretty significant damage buff. So you need your front line to just hold up long enough for your backline to finish them off and hopefully carry you into the top 4. It is time for our final 2 item choices of the game, and again, we're going to lean into more damage into the backline. At this point, we have picked up Jhin just because it works, but more importantly, we just got ourselves a gold 3-star Blitz, so that is what is going to carry this team. And we checked out and saw we were facing an Akali team, so I moved Ezreal into that corner in the hopes that he would attract Akali, but she ends up going over to Caitlyn. But it doesn't matter. Blitz is just going to walk through and destroy the opposing team. 3-star Blitzes are a little OP. And we are now against a team with a gold 3-star Yasuo in a 6 true damage team. But I have made sure that they are going to run directly into Blitzcrank, which is not going to be easy for Yasuo or even a 2-star Viego to deal with. Blitz just walks through the opposing team and, of course, crushes the damage charts. And we face off right back against the same team, only this time it's not the Ghost team, so it may be a little bit harder, but I'm not too concerned. You can see the shield that Blitz is getting, and even though he gets kicked around a little, we still end up beating them in the end, with Blitz leading the damage charts. We are now up to the final match of the game, because either way, this is a GG for everyone. But since they are still running the same comp, they're not going to be able to take down Blitz. He's just too strong, and it's over. Don't be afraid of running the 8-bit Sentinel build. I would avoid the 4-4-4, where you do 4 Sentinel, 4 Big Shots, and 4 8-bit. It doesn't work as well, but this one, it's pretty good. Hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, have an absolutely awesome day.